So I'm sorry I'm doing a lot of my videos at nighttime. I should have some like background music. I had it for a while, but everyone's asleep, so luckily I'm not super anyway. Saloon Door. I've been obviously been doing great on getting their beers out there. I heard so much about them way back in, oh shit, it's been a while now. Like 2015, 16, it was crazy because like I heard of them, but I didn't know who they were at all whatsoever. And they're, I guess, on the way to Galveston, and it's, I wanted to know more, and finally I caught their peanut butter AF, and that was the one that everyone talks about, and that's great. And I'm glad there's a quality, awesome beer that everyone can definitely agree on. It's just, you know, on average, the ones that really drink beer, they're gonna like the variety, they're gonna like the different styles, and there's also the key styles, the ones that have to happen every year. You're gonna, on average, have a pale ale, a regular IPA, an intense one, an imperial, stouts, porters, you know, and then it goes on from there. Now everyone's doing sours, and it's like cool, you know. It's hard because you want to grasp as many people as possible to maintain your craft brewery, but there's just some that after going to so many, I get tired of always just being able to get an IPA. I'm hoping the rumor's not true. Skull Mechanics might be gone. And that sucks because the real guy, I never met him. He really just loved lagers. So he would find the most extravagant, crazy, different styles you ever heard of. Like, you never heard of them half the time. And he would just brew it his way and treat it like a lager. And they just came out so smooth and very enjoyable. There are a few of them that have like a black rice, you know, it's from like Japan or China or something like that. And he had it there. He had Scottish, and it comes and goes here and there. I would enjoy more craft breweries being more individual, but they got to do what they got to do to make money and survive. So the point is, somehow they made it through. That peanut butter AF just seems to be the kicker. This is their IPA. It's called Say When, and this is a double one. Let's get that right. 9.5 alcohol by volume. So I'm kind of probably put myself in a bad spot. I would have gotten the regular IPA if I would have seen it first, but I'm grabbing what I can from them when I can. Hopefully I can grab a couple more before I actually take a trip to the brewery when things get better. I just really don't want to paint a big picture. I screwed myself over with Firestone. I've said it a million times. Please don't buy their super intense, awesome beers and love them all, and then go to the brewery and have what they have on tap. It just didn't work out for me. Try your best to get a few of the regular ones and some of their super amazing ones. Honestly, like Martin House just has across the board, and Tups just crazy. So from their regulars to their special releases, amen, amen. They're nailing it. They're like, we're going bold and we're going all the way. Enjoy it or get the out of here. So, Saloon Door so far. I didn't like the Honey Blonde too much, but it was on can, so if I could get on tap, I'll try. Because honestly, just sometimes the way it gets distributed, you can only go so far in making sure it's good. You want to keep beers in rotation at a certain time period, and just sometimes you can't help it because once it's the product of the store, it's a product of the store, and they're not all going to agree with you. They'll tell you, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, no. It takes a real special individual to go, I'm going to do my best to take care of your beer and push the beer out so that people can enjoy it at a quality time frame or the quality range of temperature control, and as much as I can in can or on tap. And honestly, like HEB and Whole Foods are over here are really catching on. There was an Whole Foods in Houston that had a beer room, and I had no idea, and it was amazing. And I also am glad I had a friend that could pick me up. Just be careful. It can happen because these are a lot of high ABV beers, but they're so good. So good. Anyways, Saloon Door is for you. Let me stop my ranting. I'm not already picking, deciding, or saying anything. I'm just doing my best to describe it so that when you're at home and you're doing this, you're like, yeah, or like, oh, I get this, or that's not my thing, or you know, or you know what, I wasn't really feeling it, but now I can understand. Hopefully this just helps your list be a little more precise. Me going through, oh, it's a risk. You know, sometimes you really have these beautiful graphics, you're happy, and you're like, yeah, and then you get home and and it sucks. Like, especially when a lot of milkshake one comes out, because I really do understand it's a hazy, but it doesn't mean it's gonna have the same constant hazy, beautiful, fruity flavors. and they'll put like cloud kicker and all kinds of stuff, and it kind of really amplifies your brain's imagination, you know. So knowing a little bit about the brewery, having a couple of beers really helps you be like, oh, let's see what they got. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a little more savor, it's gonna be a little more of this, it's gonna have a little more kick. But honestly, with them doubles, on average doubles, if you are able to make it to doubles, man, it's a journey. I can really get a very amber, malty, toasty goodness from it off the bat. So very good malty backbone. Let's see if it says any descriptor. Nope, just Webster, Texas. Get your butt over there and enjoy it. Whew. The hoppiness is like sweet pine oil. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Not pine sol, pine oil. Like the sap's coming out, but it still smells very sweet. But then you got all that malt and stuff, so it really kind of like plays with you. It almost reminds you of maple syrup. It's a different tree, a different syrup, but it still seems like you can eat it. So let's see what happens. Oh, it's almost like brown sugary good, but it's savory. You still got the bitterness from the hops, but that malt profile is just toasty. So like it's like being by a campfire and having something with some brown sugar in it, just calling it a day. Just winding down, enjoying your evening. For a double, the IBUs could be through the roof, but for some reason, the way they're building the malt backbone, I said it a million times, basically the part that really fortifies the beer, really contributes to most of the flavor, is the malt, because the sugars are important for the yeast, and that begins your profile. That begins where your platform starts on flavor. But you don't want it to be overwhelmingly sweet, so then you throw in some hops to get some bitterness in there. Towards the end, when you want to make it more elaborate, you throw in some more hops. You can add hops throughout the whole process. You can cook it longer. You can get crazy with it. It's just on average, you have about a steeping time for the grain, then a boiling time for the wort, and the doubles, since there's so much cooking, even the ones at the end that seem very bitter, the hop notes, they start to dull down. So the bitterness has a peak too, because the oils in there will eventually break down. And once they break, it starts toning down, and then it gives room for the other hops that didn't even get to that peak yet to have other flavor attributes. So, God bless to all of them. Thank you for this drink. Still good, still has a little kick. Yeah, 9.5, it's pretty smooth. You can definitely get a very strong, like I said, pine oil, pine sap, but right off the bat, that brown sugar malt goodness kicks in, and then the hops come in afterwards. So for the bitterness, now that I've gotten used to it, I'm not used to it, I understand it more, and the first thing that doesn't come out of my brain is like, whoa, it's like, okay, what am I getting here? What am I doing? What am I getting? You know, now I'm actually like breaking it down. It has a slight, almost, not quite soapy, but it's getting there, but it's in the mix of it. So the malt first, then they get this beautiful pininess, and the soap is like right in the middle, and it's like trying not to get noticed, but it's still there because that's just the natural bitterness from it, from the cooking process. But it's perfectly balanced where you're getting a little bit of each. It's not just one is dominating. Like that's what kills me with grapefruit, is they can get a little crazy with it, and all I taste is grapefruit. That gets very torturous. It sucks, but I do keep trying, I keep learning, and I can get more, but I definitely, that's just the one that is like, can't do it. Anyways, point is, if you understand the basic core of everything, Saloon Door offers more than just a peanut buttery AF stout. So they have quality beers. So ones that like the intensity, that like that extra bitterness, those are the super hop heads. Those ones just love hops through and through. On average, they're probably the ones that just can, like, the bitter's there, but it's the last thing they taste. So all those little sweet in between subtle notes are really what they're getting, and then maybe they may get a little bit of bitterness. It's just the way your tongue's built. So for you, go for it. For me, it's a sipper, but it's very enjoyable. Yeah, a little orangey, toasty, just so good. Just definitely a quality beer, high ABV, that I'm not just gonna chug. Oh, it's crushable, and what? You lose half your night. Enjoy your night, remember your night, watch some TV, put on outside, have a bonfire, barbecue, hang out, enjoy the cool nights, relax. This is definitely still, if it was winter time and this was around, definitely want to have around. Thank you, Saloon Door. I've been enjoying a few of your beers. They're not all my favorite, but I'm not hating on them. You have variety for everybody to go and enjoy. And The peanut butter one was good, and this one is definitely a hoppy IPA that I want to go to all the time. So for me to you, that's just what I'm throwing out there. So hopefully this helps you decide on your list, and it's either keep it or miss it. Either way, enjoy it.